What's up, you beautiful souls? This is my How Faith Made Me Unstoppable guide, video, tutorial, whatever it is you want to call it. It's about faith, about the Christian faith, how it made me stronger as a person, how it made me more disciplined, which is, I think, one of the most important principles and characteristics you need to have as a man in order to be successful in today's world. It's to be disciplined on your vision, on your goals, to focus on the work that you must do and you have to do every single day, and to stay away from the temptations of the modern world. This is how personally I've made a ton of progress in my early 20s, and how I stopped being a loser in my teens and basically turned my life around through faith, and how you can do the same. This is what we're going to talk about today. This day's agenda. I'm going to basically just go over quickly my story, how it worked for me. Then we're going to go over some of the problems that I faced and some of the most common problems that you may face with your discipline or your faith. And just a disclaimer: if you're not a Christian, then it's okay. This video is still for you, but I want you to consider something that's I recently discovered, and I think it's very interesting. Is one of the most important, powerful, influential empires in the world was the Roman Empire. It totally dominated the world in terms of military, technology, culture, just sheer size of its area and its population, and all of that. And if you go to today's to Rome today, to that empire's capital, you see Christian cathedrals, churches, paintings, statues of saints, all of that everywhere around Rome. And it's really interesting because the Christian faith and the Christian people really never even put up a sword or a spear against the Roman Empire. It was entirely conquered just through the sheer strength of the faith of the faithful people in the Christian kingdom on this earth, and the sheer truth and power behind the Christian principles and beliefs. So that's why I think you should at least consider that there is something very important and very special behind the Christian faith and how it impacts people's mentality and their actions. Then we're going to go over how faith can be a source of strength for you, how you can build a routine around that strength and how to cultivate it, how to set goals that can be fueled by that faith and that strength, how to overcome the temptations and the challenges that are going to stop you from achieving those goals, how to incorporate prayer and reflection in order to achieve your goals faster and easier, how to have a long-term vision that is long-term enough so that your goals are actually doable and important, and how to basically uh, keep that up with some practical tips and tricks that I've just found out during my journey as a Christian and as I've delved deeper into my faith. So, a little bit of introduction. Who am I? My name is Dimitar. Dimitar, where we want to call it in Russian, it's Dimitri. It comes from the Greek goddess Demetra, which was the goddess of nature and fertility. And there is I'm actually not named after her. I'm named after a Christian saint who is named Dimitar. So I bear a Christian name, even though my parents were not Christian or are not Christian, as they gave it to me. So that's just another example of how Christian tradition and the story of these saints and these people can influence even people who are not really that religious. It's just the strength and the authenticity of their stories. So, how did faith actually save me from becoming a failure? In my teens, I was addicted to video games. I was not very social. I had social anxiety. I was single. I was very lonely. I was very, very skinny as a noodle. I had no size to me. I was not athletic. I didn't even look that good, I would say. So my whole life wasn't really that good. And I was a complete atheist, actually. I hated God and hated Christ. I didn't like Christianity at all. I thought it was like the dumbest thing ever. And I had some mystical experiences. And after that, here I am now. My life has completely changed because of Christianity. I'm working on my own business now. I have a career in AI in the work field. I have a really good, healthy, respectful relationship. I'm very fit outside now. I'm training kickboxing. I'm going to have my first fight soon. So my life has completely changed because of my faith. I attribute it all to God and to my faith. This is what has actually changed me in the person that I am now. And all the progress that I've made in my life is because of my faith. A lot of my friends say that I'm very disciplined. They think I just have this crazy willpower up here on my brain that stops me from doing stupid shit and keeps me on track. I would say it has nothing to do with my willpower because, guys, remember this: willpower is actually an expendable resource. If you've been very disciplined, if you've used all your willpower in a couple of days, maybe weeks, if you have participally if you have a particularly strong willpower, you will eventually burn out. That's why it's actually important to set up your foundation for your discipline in faith and something otherworldly, something spiritual, and something higher than just your willpower, because your willpower will give out eventually. So yeah, as I said, most people just think it's willpower. They think it's just a daily grind. To me, it's a commitment to a higher purpose. And if you want to achieve your goals, be it in business, making more money, being jacked, having more muscle mass, having a girlfriend or a couple of girlfriends, which is not really Christian, but you can still apply these principles to do that. All of that, to do all of that, you need to be committed to a higher purpose. You can't just commit to the simple end goal of making more money. You need to know why you need more money. You need to have a spiritual purpose behind it. For example, I'll give you mine. If you're a Christian, then you believe in heaven and hell. And personally, I believe that all the souls, the people that have not found Jesus Christ in their lives, will go to hell. And because I try to be a good, loving person, I'm actually trying to help these people. I'm trying to basically help people find their faith in Jesus so they can spend eternity in heaven. But nobody will listen to me if I'm broke, if I'm obese, if I don't look good or look presentable, because that's just the truth. If you can't pay your bills, if you're broke, if you're obese or you're very very skinny and you don't look presentable, then nobody's going to listen to you or take you seriously. Basically, that's just an example of how going to the gym and working and making money on all of that contributes to my higher purpose, which is to get people into heaven. For example, Elon Musk also has a higher purpose of sending people to Mars, saving humanity from a potential catastrophe here on Earth, so that we can go to another planet, colonize it, and potentially save humanity. That's his higher purpose, and everything that he does is in connection to that higher purpose. That's why I think it's very important for you to find your personal higher purpose. It could be anything that you want, but it has to be something large in scope and in spiritual essence. It can be something simple, just as buying a Ferrari or something like that. Of course, you shouldn't bite off more than you can chew. We have this really nice quote by Marcus Aurelius here. We should discipline ourselves in small things, and from these progress to things of greater value. So you should not try to, let's say, colonize Mars right now by yourself. I think you should actually focus on the daily little tasks, on your daily little actions that in the end will stack up to that higher goal. It's like building a pyramid. You start with the small blocks at the bottom and you build and you build and you build and you eventually reach the top, but you must start small, and you must avoid these lifestyle basically choices that you make every single day that drain your willpower and drain your discipline and try to distract you from your goals. It can be anything from getting bad sleep to eating terrible food or sugars, which make your brain slower. They give you less energy and they make your body tired. Or spending too much time alone is another one. I found that working in my office or in my room the whole day will actually make the quality of my work worse. I found that by just going, for example, to a coffee and making small chat with strangers or with the barista and the coffee actually improves my work by just having people around me. So that's something you can try for yourself. So here's how you can actually use faith as an actual potential source of strength. The first one is using the Bible as a practical guide. In the Bible, there are many stories and examples and lessons of what we should do in different scenarios and situations. And if you learn those and memorize them and integrate them into your character, that basically will help you make better decisions overall in your life, because the wisdom in the Bible is generations old, and the people uh, in thousands of years ago decided that it's important enough to write it down manually and pass it down and preserve it and protect it with their lives. So it should give you the idea that it's worth listening to. If you haven't read the Bible, you should at least read it once. But I think it's full of very, very useful wisdom, even in today's world. That's always going to be applicable, always going to be universal, and it's just going to save you a lot of time from decision making if you're wondering what to do in a situation. that's going to waste your time and energy just coming up with a decision. But if you actually listen to the Bible, then you can just do what it says. It's going to save you the time and energy to make the decision, and it's probably going to be a better decision than if you had to come up with one by yourself. So that's something that's very useful. Another one is believing in a higher power uh, is actually going to give you metaphysical energy. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think it's true. Uh, Last Christmas, I ran a marathon with almost no prior preparation. I'd never run in my life before that, I think. And I started preparing for the marathon a week or two before it actually happened. And I actually managed to run it in a pretty decent time. And I attribute all of that to my faith in God because I prayed that I would like to finish this marathon. I prayed for health, for energy, for endurance, and God gave these things to me. In the Bible, it is written that if you knock, the door will be open, and if you ask, you shall receive. So, asking specific things from God, if they're good and moral and ethical things, of course, you will receive them, and God will give you the metaphysical and supernatural power and energy. Another benefit of using faith as a source of strength is that you eliminate all your stress. A lot of people struggle with anxiety or depression or just stress in general because of their finances or their relationships. If you pray to God and you give Him your problems and your anxieties and all your stress, then God will just take that from you and He's going to take care of it and He will give you peace in return. And it's some of the best, most calming peace that I've personally ever felt in my life is immediately after prayer or after confession. So it's something that I recommend you try for yourself because it's something you have to try for yourself to actually feel the benefits in your soul, in your heart. So in order to get all of these benefits, you need to have a routine rooted in faith. Everything in this life is routine. If you pray once, it's not going to have much of an effect. It's all about consistency. It's like the gym. It's all about consistency, all about repetition. Here are the four things that you can practice every single day. Usually do them in the morning. First one is gratitude. You focus on the positive. You focus on what you have instead of what you lack. So you have this abundance mindset. And if you focus on the positive, then you're just going to basically get more of that. If you are grateful for what you have, you have more things to be grateful for in the future. So you're able to become basically abundant. For example, if you give someone a Ferrari and they sell it or they crash it or they keep it dirty and unclean, you're probably not going to give them a Ferrari again. But if you give someone a Ferrari and they clean it and they're taking very good care of it and they're using it as it is intended to, and every time they start the ignition, they thank you for it, then you're very likely to give them more gifts in the future as well. That's sort of how your relationship with God and gratitude works. Second one is prayer. It has a lot of basically scientific studies on it that it increases dopamine, it reduces stress, all of that. But furthermore, I think it also gives you supernatural superpowers. As I said, I think with the marathon, if you pray for something hard and passionately enough, you will eventually get it. All it takes is patience, basically. Meditation is another one. It helps you with focus. A lot of us sort of have this attention span deficiencies because of social media today. And meditation is basically concentrating on a single thing for prolonged periods of time. It's going to help you with focus, it's going to help you with patience, and it's going to help you with that attention span. Then the fourth one is Bible reading. Reading the Bible is just going to give you all that wisdom and all of these stories from the people that whose lives are of the saints and of the apostles and Jesus Himself. Their lives are described in detail, so you can learn from them and you can apply their wisdom in your life as well. So when you set goals based on your faith, they need to be based on your faith if you want to achieve them. Because if you set a goal that is not in line with your principles and your beliefs, then your subconscious will actually fight against that goal. So it needs to be aligned. But you have basically three zones. The first one is the comfort zone. These are the goals that you know you can for surely easily achieve. Don't set such goals. It's going to kill your ambition, and even if you achieve them, you won't make much progress because they're just not comfortable for you, that easy for you, they're close to your current situation. The other side of that is delusions. Those are goals that are impossible for you to achieve. I would say that for some people, delusions don't exist. For example, Alexander the Great, he conquered the world at 21, 22. which would be delusional for most people, including myself. But it wasn't a delusion for him. He actually made it happen. So if you're very hardworking, if you're very talented, uh, I would say that then there would be no delusions for you. Everything could be possible. But for most average people, uh, setting goals that are way too high will sort of get you stuck into procrastination because you won't know where to start. So the best golden, I think, middle is setting goals that are achievable in a year or so, that you know how to achieve, but still make you slightly or mediumly anxious when you think about them. That means that that they'll actually push you out of your comfort zone, and you can actually make progress in your life. These then are problems that you may face when trying to chase your goals. The first one are temptations. These are given to you by the devil, but just know that any temptation that you face that is given to you by the devil himself, because he is afraid of your potential, has actually been allowed by God. So God is actually believing in you in that moment to succeed and to overcome that temptation to become stronger. Some of the most common temptations in the modern world I've listed here, such as alcohol, drugs, pornography, procrastination, uh, gluttony, fast immoral money, which would be like gambling or so. All these things are meant to distract you from your path and sap your energy and your life force. So you should stay away from them at all costs. How to overcome them? They have different techniques of overcoming, and they're all written and described in the Bible. So I would suggest just read it from the source. You can Google how to overcome, let's say, lust, Bible source in Google, and then you can read all of those verses on how to overcome that. That's, I think, the best advice on how to deal with them. Then you have challenges. Challenges are they're actually placed by God on your road. So run away from temptations and run towards challenges. Both are hard and both will sort of get you stuck for some time. But if you overcome the challenges, you actually progress towards your goal. As whether if you overcome your temptations, you just get back to where you were. If you sort of get that metaphor. So, for example, some challenges, let's say that you set up this new business goal of wanting to, let's say, make 10K per month to be able to afford this car or this apartment. Then you face a challenge of having to learn new skills. You just won't have the skills to make that much money in such a short period of time. So you need to learn new skills. That's an awesome challenge to have because it will make you grow as a person. Same thing is, for example, if you want to start your own business, you have to find out the niche that you want to start your business in. That's a great challenge. If you're in a good emotional and mental space, finding a partner is also a challenge, and I think that's a really beautiful challenge. So all of these things are there designed by God to make you grow as a person. So overcoming temptations and challenges, I think, can be made easier by having prayer and reflection and confession in your life. I think confession is something very important. If you fall into temptation, if you fall into sin, if you do stupid shit for a weekend, then confession can help you relieve some of that regret and some of that shame that you may feel. It's basically telling God, hey, I did this and this. I'm sorry, but you actually have to be sorry. You can't play pretend with God. You can't lie to God. So if you're actually sorry, it will remove all that guilt, all that sin. It will help you bounce back stronger and continue, and it will help you save time, basically, because if you're wallowing in shame and regret, you will lose a lot of time and your energy, and you'll be in a negative mindset space. And if you confess your sins to God and you apologize, you get back your positive energy much quicker and faster. It will help you clear your vision, because once you name the things that you've done wrong, then you'll be able to make them tangible and targetable, so you know what to work on. It will keep you humble because you say, hey, I did this wrong and this wrong. Then you know that you're not perfect here in your mind. So you won't have this false ego. You actually know that you have these faults in your life, and to make you, I think, more likable as a person. And then finally, if you actually pray to God to help you fix those things, He's actually going to intervene in your life directly. He works through mysterious ways, and a lot of the time you won't know that's Him, or you won't at least expect for Him to intervene in that way. But I found that if you pray for something, to either achieve something or to help you stop doing something, He'll intervene in a very interesting and very, most of the time, fun way to help you. Then, when you're setting long-term goals, a lot of people have this false perception that you're making, let's say, 1% every single day, or 5 or 2%. So let's say you make 2% progress today, 2% progress tomorrow, 2% progress the day after that. Uh, and I don't think it works that way, because I'll give you an example. For example, with athletes, they train months upon months without seeing any rewards, any trophies, and then, for example, all of that hard work pays off in just a few minutes in their sprint or in their fight. If they're a boxer, let's say Conor McGregor works for months upon months or upon months without seeing any single reward for his hard work, and then on fight night, the fight lasts just 1 or 2 minutes, and he gets all that money for just one of those 2 minutes. I think that's how uh, success works. It compounds. So for a very long time, you won't see any progress. You won't see any wins or success or trophies, and then just like that, you'll see it all at once. And to an outsider's perspective, it may seem like a lucky shot, but if you've actually put in the work, then you know that it took a long time to get there. That's how it usually works in this life. There are some fast and easy wins that may eventually come, but you have to be wary of those, because something that comes easily in your life is also going to leave easily as well, because you won't have the knowledge or the skills in order to maintain it. So you have to be very careful of those fast wins as well. And that's why I think discipline is very important, because true success usually takes months upon months, or maybe even years of work, without having a trophy or having any of the sweetness that usually comes with it. So have to be very disciplined and very patient when building up that compounding interest on your progress and on your success. Then these are just some practical tips how your day can look like if you basically set up around faith. Usually, you should start with meditation, prayer, gratitude to get you into the right mental space for the day up ahead. Then in the morning or lunch, you want to have your mental work, so that will be like your job or your university, or you're studying or writing or any of that. Then on your midday, you're going to have your purpose-driven goals that are aligned with your faith and values. And then towards the end, reading scriptures for adults is what I feel like is reading stories to kids. So it sort of helps you relax and get to sleep. Reflection is also, I think, very important to help you basically reflect what you've done during the day, to see what you could do better, maybe what you should do less of or what you should do more of. I think it's very important to reflect every night before going to bed on what you've done during the day and how your life is going to look like if you continue having the same day basically as you did today. And then these are just some of the most famous people, some of the best minds, I think, in this world that have shaped the culture and the world that we basically live in science or in art or in any category that you want in life. And they all attribute their success and their genius to their faith. These are all devout Christians: Isaac Newton, William Shakespeare, Michelangelo, Christopher Columbus, all of them absolute greats of all time, absolute goats. All of them have attributed to their uh, faith in the Christian God. So that's just an example of that there is absolutely no limit, that the sky is the limit when it comes to how powerful faith can make you and how what can help you achieve basically. So to summarize, what you can start doing now is you can basically learn a prayer, the Jesus prayer. It's, I think, the best prayer there is. It's taught by Jesus himself in the Bible. You can learn it immediately after this video. If you want to start implementing faith in your life, you can think of a major goal for your life that is spiritual and that serves a higher purpose, and then you can try to break it down into basically daily actionable steps on how to achieve it during the spans of months or years. That's something you can do immediately after this video if you want to start making the progress now and fast. So that was from me. I pray you have a blessed day, and thank you for watching.